Here at Keep It 100 podcast. I'm getting all organized, having some fun. Going to be joined by a great friend, Elaine, Elizabeth Presley. Got some people coming in. Hold on one second, guys. Let me get Elaine in here. Okay. Hold on one second. Here we go. Let's invite her to the show. Thank you guys for joining. Elaine should be here in just a second. Well, good evening.
Good evening, JR. How are you?
I am doing great. It is such a pleasure to have you on the show today.
And thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start out with, I'm going to let you say your name, who you are, where you grew up at, and then I will take over from there, and then I'll ask you those 3 questions that I normally ask. So with no further ado, I'll let you start.
Thank you, sir. My name is Elaine Elizabeth Presley of Graceland, and I was raised in Essex, UK, in a little village called Cockershaw near Colchester. And you can really get an idea of what it's like because it's similar to Tupelo, really. Had a little sweet shop, similar to my dad, had the hardware store, that sort of thing. Lived quite a similar life, really, and did lots of the same things he did and put up the same sort of ideas and even pranks that he did too. And did lots of similar things to my sister as well, actually. Unknowingly, we did quite a lot of things the same. So it's a lovely little village, had a wonderful childhood there, and used to work very hard, and we used to have lots of fun.
Okay. Well, I want to let everyone know that because we got a lot of viewers that are joining right now. This is Keep It 100 podcast, the all-new podcast interview show with your host, J.R. Robertson and Tarail McBee, a.k.a. we call him D-Rail because he raps a little bit. Okay. So we're here today with Elaine Elizabeth Presley, a legend in her own name. Father Elvis Presley, one of my favorites. I don't know if I was telling you, Elaine, how I grew up, and my dad, your dad was my dad was a fan of your dad.
Yes.
And he used to comb his hair just like your dad.
Like that.
Yes. And the funny thing about it, because our hair was a little bit different, he put that Murray's on there to get that curl in, you know.
I want to be.
Now, what the viewers don't know, Elaine, is that you have a heck of a sense of humor, okay? And when I was talking with you in the beginning, because usually I don't talk that much to the people that I'm going to interview, I don't want to know that much. I want to be raw when I go in.
Yeah.
And we had a chance to have a conversation, and I felt like it was one of my old friends that I hadn't talked to in a while, and we just start picking up and start talking. So I feel like I have a new best friend.
Well, you do, and I have a new best friend too, Jay. I mean,
all right, and I told you my number is open to you 24/7. If you need anything, you got a question, whatever, can't sleep, you need to talk to somebody, you know I'm here for you, right?
Thank you, sir. Likewise.
Okay, all right. So I like to be called about 3 o'clock in the morning. No, teasing.
Yeah.
All right, let me get right into it. Elaine, I got some questions for you. So I'm going to start out with, you just talked about your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You had some transitions, and I noticed, because I kind of followed some things that you said on Facebook about, 7 years. Can you go into what the 7 years is about? It's like being back home in 7 years.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to mention one thing about the hairbrushing thing. One of the things,
yeah, okay.
Younger fans at Graceland, I would like to be able to teach them at Graceland that it's is that how to actually do that. You can actually do your hair like that quite quickly with just one comb, and normally put it in the back like that. Spin it around, flick it out, spin it around like that, and you can be really cool to the guys or the girls, and that's what it was all about back then, doing stuff like that.
Hey, maybe we should open something up together where we teach people how to do that.
Well, that belongs to Graceland now, But,
oh,
yeah. So
I'm teasing you. Okay, so tell me, the 7 years you kept mentioning that in Facebook. Talking about family, how important it was for you, family being, family unit being back. What is that all about? Tell me.
Okay, well, when I was raised in England, in Colchester, I was raised in a family that many years later, one of them was actually a cousin of ours,
Okay.
But supposed to be my mother and my father and a sister and a brother. and I loved them, but I was different, and I had to really work hard at loving them, so that sort of thing, and I was different. And then when I grew up, I kind of felt lost. I was searching. I didn't know what I was searching for because I thought they were my mum and dad. I thought that's how it was for parents. That's how you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to act and the feelings you're supposed to have.
Okay.
And so, I grew up like that, thinking they're my parents, but I felt misplaced. I felt that I was being, somebody, not somebody else, but something else was in there that wasn't part of that family. But I didn't pick up on the fact that they weren't my parents. I just picked
Wow.
up that I was kind of searching, but didn't know what I was searching for. But that wasn't when I was a child. That was kind of more when my dad passed away after that, because I kind of walked into a different direction, but I didn't know he was my dad. That was in 77. And
Okay.
so, yeah, so growing up, I was fine. And then when my dad passed away, I kind of got in that lost stage and then went in a different direction. I actually went in a different direction to my father, my real father, Elvis Presley, because I was mad at him at that time.
Okay.
I didn't know he was my father, so it was very strange. And that's why I ran as far as I could away from him.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Mad in the sense of,
angry.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tried to contact him. I did speak to him when I was 13. Tried to contact him some more, tried to save him and that sort of thing. But I didn't know why. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan of many, many stars. Cliff Richard was my number one idol, and my father obviously was an idol, but not like Cliff Richard because it's more like a boyfriend sort of situation. So it wasn't like that way of my dad.
Okay.
And even I didn't know he was my dad. So I ran in a different direction in those days.
Okay.
In a different direction. And in 77. So I traveled, misplaced, really.
Okay.
Now, even though I became successful, moved to America and raised a daughter, I was still misplaced in myself.
Okay.
And
You have
then I
you
went for
let
one.
me stop you for 1 second. Was it a intuition feeling inside that you were misplaced?
We're a very spiritual family. I'm spiritual, my dad's spiritual. So the reason I stayed safe for so many years is because a lot of people looked after me and I could analyze who was safe and who wasn't. So I had and I felt basically I had no confidence and I felt that I was searching for something but didn't know what it was. Actual fact, what I used to do every morning, I used to wake up. I used to have to look in the mirror when I was going to do business or work, go to work. I look in the mirror and make myself believe that I'm confident that I can get out there and do a good job.
Okay.
So it's that kind of lostness and searching constantly,
Okay.
and that's the way it was. So then I raised my daughter in Virginia in 1984. I moved to America, raised my daughter in Virginia, and then after raising my daughter in Virginia, I decided to come back for a while to England. And then it became around the time of, it came a little later, then it got to be 2011. And I realized I hadn't yet lived my dream. And my dream was to be a singer.
Oh wow. Okay.
I changed my name to Elaney as, my career name.
Okay.
My name was Elaine Bowden at that time. And I changed my name to Elaney and I became very popular. I
Wow.
even did signings at all the schools, holding my picture and all that sort of stuff. Did all those sort of things over there. So, actually, no, sorry, I did that when I came home eventually. Uh,
Okay.
one thing I did do, I'm jumping my own gun here. But so yeah, they did all that stuff back there, further on down the.
Okay.
But here I am as Elaney, and I was, I still lost. So I sat down one time on my couch actually, and I decided to make a decision. And I had done the same thing in 77 as well when I was taking singing lessons with Arnold Rosendale, which is Blondie's singing coach in London.
I know Blondie very well. One of my favorites.
Yeah, I had a singing coach. I didn't have enough money to continue, so I had to make a decision. What am I going to do? So I was placed in the same situation in 2013, and I said, okay. I said, dear God, I've been trying to find out what this is. I've been searching for, and it's exhausting. I'm no longer going to do that. I'm getting too old. I'm going to stop searching and just be happy with being a Laney and making my fans my family. Now, please remember, even though I had a family, I never mentioned family all my life. I didn't know why.
Wow.
Same sort of closeness you have with your family, who's a real family.
Okay.
So basically, let me turn this light on over here real quick.
Okay.
What's enough light in this room? I'm going to have to get some extra lighting for these interviews in this room. This is my...
It's all good. Hey, you know, I told you we have an uncensored show, so we can do and feel. If you want to put on a robe and smoke a cigar, that's what I would like to do.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, so basically, that's funny. So basically, I think the fans would like that if I put my negligee on, right?
I was poking on you.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so there I was. You know, I said to God, I'm going to give up. You know, trying to figure what's going on. You know, I didn't even, you know, I didn't know I was trying to find. I didn't know it was a family I was trying to find. I didn't know what it was. It was just darkness. You know,
Okay.
walking in darkness, of being lost, being searching.
Empty feeling,
And,
right?
yeah, and so I said, I give up. I'm going to make my fans my family, and that's where it's going to be from now on. That's how it's going to be. And then something happened, and it was, you know, I can't remember. It's really, you can't tell everybody this part of the story because that's when they just get kind of crazy. But you have to understand our family. We are not a normal family. There's no doubt about that. I've learned that over the years. I tried to say, I'm just a normal girl, you know, I'm home with my dad. Yeah, but you know, I know we're not. So anyway, so something happened to me, you know, something came over me. And I started having flashbacks of my childhood and the things that the nana that I had at the time told me, and my mother told me, and everybody told me. And my dad, I haven't thought about my dad since '77 because when he died, I was angry, I was crying on the street, and I walked in a different direction. And I thought about my father completely, not even thinking about it because the pain of how I felt towards him was so deep that it was, and I was a child, you know, being a country kid from a village like in Tupelo, you know, is scary. You know, it's not like today when kids are very, very intelligent. Back then, we're just country.
Right.
And so that was scary. I went into a different direction. But at this moment in time, that was my dad, when I was 13, actually said to me, I'll be here for you when you need me. I didn't know what that was. It actually scared me. Even though I didn't know he was my dad, I just was trying to help him back then before he passed away, you know, and I was only a kid, 13 years old at the time.
Okay.
So then what happened was it all came to my mind, says, you know, this is the time, you know, it's like, this is the time, you know, and all these flashbacks came and I was like, my God, am I actually Elaine Presley? Is that what's been wrong? Or is that what it is? And at that moment, my whole self had instant confidence where I had none before. Instant, completely alive and completely a person finally. A real person that's found. And I knew who I was instantly. And so I tested myself and I went and sang some songs, and even the guy in the pub said, why'd you sound like Elvis? I said, I'm Elaine Presley. And at that time I hadn't changed my name yet, but that's what I said. And I was just so different. And I called all my friends, I think I'm completely insane. I think I'm Elvis Presley's other child, the real one. And it was just all come yesterday. And from that moment forward, I was literally a completely different person. But I never want to forget the time that was, because the time before I was completely lost. I was nervous and scared, and I was, you know, you know, searching. So then 4 years passed of me telling everybody in the world who I was, and now that 4 years, I severely got my ass kicked to the ground on a daily basis. Even got threatened and everything.
What do you mean by that?
I was given an ultimatum. And somebody said to me one time, they said, you got two choices, you know, you can leave your family and you can live, or you can stay and you're going to die. Wow. And I was so lost before that if I was to try to leave my family now, it'd be worse than death. So go for it.
Gotcha.
Give it your best shot.
Wow.
About to leave my family now, I found them. So from that moment forward, I started talking about my family, and which I'd never done. And I had this love and overwhelming feelings I'd never felt before. And so when I ran my DNA in 2017, I was praying that I was me, and I was me, which I was very pleased of. So really, it wasn't about coming home to a famous family or famous father or anything. It's about coming home to where I belonged, my family.
Let me ask you a question, Elaine, because I know this had to be really tough on you, and it took a lot of confidence. And no matter how strong you are, sometimes life beats you up, you know. But how were you with? Because you know when you come out, no one knew about you that much. and all of a sudden, here's Elaine Presley.
Yeah.
How were they? How did people take you? I mean,
Well, that's what it is. That was the 7 years I'm talking about. For the first
okay,
for the first 4 years, I was severely beaten down to a point where I'd literally have to get off the ground every single day crying. And of course, I wanted to go and hug, my family, my sister, and stuff like that, but I couldn't because I was too new home. And I wanted to get to know people and stuff like that because I was so excited to be home. I never mentioned family before, but now, if you notice, I never shut up mentioning family,
right, right. You should.
content, and home, and me. And so, yeah, so I then a couple more years went by and I got confidants. Some confidants came into my life that helped me. And then it got to 7 years. And then on the seventh year, finally, you have to remember this is I had severe treatment. I'm talking about, imagine if you're in a room with 10 psychopaths and they're trying to kill you 24/7.
Right. Okay.
That was my life.
Wow.
And so then finally, I got through all that and then things got a little easier. And then, you know, people said to me, you have to understand, I was investigated by not only the federal government and the FBI, you know, but and also Homeland Security, and I had to go through all sorts of tests as well.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
Remember, we have 20 million fans, and those fans are all Elvis fans in different occupations. So I was the investigated child probably in the world. But one thing, I could just sit there all calm and happy because I knew I was me, and I knew I was telling the truth, and I knew everything was fine because I never ever lied.
Let me ask you one more question. What was going on in your mind? What was your state at that time?
I was so happy to be home. I wasn't leaving. And I was just so happy, and I was so me and so content, and I still am to this day, and I will be for the rest of my life. And it's very natural for me to be home at Graceland. It's very easy for me to be home at Graceland. Don't get me wrong, that hate and that punishment I received coming home was pure hell.
Oh my God.
Away and give me at least a good chance, of being home, that I'm very natural and very just relaxed and comfortable. Every time I go home to Graceland, I'm the most relaxed child you're ever going to see,
One other question for you. Were there any death threats on your life or?
First of all, yes, there was in England, there were lots of death threats. And also, you learn how it is also in our world, that it's very serious, but very funny. One time I made a mistake of calling the police and they came around, right? This is my first lesson of being a celebrity figure.
Never call the police.
They came around, and this was in Wales in England. And my bodyguard, which was my boyfriend at the time, he was a very tough man. He stopped from people trying to get me, and a lot of people actually. Anyway, I said to them, these people are trying to murder me, And he said, "What's your name?" I said, "Elaine Presley." And he said, "Oh, you said you're in relation to Elvis?" And so I said, "Yeah, I'm Elaine Presley of Graceland and everything, and I'm on my way home soon." And he said, "Look," he threw down his paper. And he said, "Look, what kind of celebrity do you think you are if you can't even handle a few death threats?" I
Oh
thought,
my God.
yeah. Then I realized no police want to have anything to do with a celebrity kind of figure, even though I didn't think I was a celebrity, but they thought I was because of who I was.
Right.
I realized you have to have your own bodyguards because no police is going to.
Always.
They don't care. They're like, we're after real crime. You're a celebrity.
And it's sad. It's sad it's that way. But people, let me stop for 1 second. A lot of, based on how you were raised and where you grew up at, and there's different areas where, like, when it comes to people the way they grew up, like I would never know. Oh, let's go back and forth. Take someone that grew up in Beverly Hills, and he goes into never been into Compton or something like that in California. He doesn't know what's going on there, the facial gestures, or what they're doing. So you can easily make a mistake, and there could be some trouble. So I understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, for me though, my dad, actually, fact, my dad was very sophisticated in himself. He was also very sophisticated, and he has the same traits as me and my sister. When it comes to surviving anywhere and doing anything and being able to do things at any place or any town.
Okay.
So he could survive in Beverly Hills, and he could survive in Memphis, just like I can.
He seems like he would be, after watching the shows and watching people, because I pay attention to personalities and I work off of energy. I feel your energy and I kind of know you right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that.
yeah, so so then 7 years. So when the seventh year came, which has just been just a short period of time now, everything changed. It was really amazing. It kind of all just calmed down and relaxing and more different. And so I went from fighting to achieve stuff, which I managed to achieve things, which I'm very happy about,
Okay.
to achieve only really working at 10% of my talent and capacity. So now I'm working 100% of my capacity.
I love it. I love it. And
Mm.
what was the changing factor there? What do you think, hurdled you up or pushed you up to be able to do that?
I think people gave up and said, she's been home 7 years, and nobody's been able to bring her down. And the reason they couldn't bring me down because I'm a really Elaine Presley and I've never lied. And what I tell you now, if you go back to any of my interviews, it'll be the same thing back then. There's nothing I have to remember because it's all natural.
Okay. Now I have a question for you.
Uh,
Um,
and I'm good.
okay. A question I have is because again, when you're the other kid and you come in and you're meeting the rest of the family, what kind of relationship did Lisa and you have?
Well, me and my sister, I love her very dearly, and we haven't really had much of a relationship yet, but I hope to.
Okay.
I all the time. I worry about her quite a bit sometimes, actually. Me and my mother, I feel that relationship's getting better. I was terrified when I first realized who she was. So she's my mother, and when I went to go and see her and everything,
Okay.
I wasn't scared. You know what I'm saying? I could meet any celebrity, no problem. I could United States, easy, no problem.
Okay.
But my mother, she affects my entire life, no matter what happens. You
Right.
understand? When I went to see her, I tried to behave as best as possible and hide my feelings, even though that was impossible. But she was really lovely, actually, and her bodyguards looked after me, and I felt really, really close to her. And you have to understand when you come from a family, you think your family, you don't have that closeness. And then you have a real family, and you have that closeness. It's like really, really heavy,
Yes.
and you have to get used to that. And I'm used to it now. And so now, and also it kind of training. When I went to see her, I was like, okay, the first time I bought her roses. The second time, you know, I messed up when I was doing the celebrity thing, because I didn't go in when I was supposed to before the
Oh no, you can't make those mistakes.
said, no, it's okay, I'll stand here. Then I turned around about 10 minutes later and all these fans behind me. I'm like, oh my God, that explains that reason. And when I went to see my mum the third time, I just sat and tried to behave myself. And
Right. Well,
yeah,
let me ask you another question. Because again, when you come in to a family that's like, whether it be a sports celebrity and you're the other kid, they already have their set of rules already, and you have to kind of mold yourself into that home setting without standing out too much. But again, you being, I mean, that being from the Elvis family, which is legendary, I'm sure there were some rules that you were breaking without even knowing.
well, the thing was, I was naturally like my dad, but in my dad's time, that was okay to be like him.
Okay.
But you can't be like my dad now with our
Oh
big
no. Yeah.
and how much is at stake. And I didn't realize that. So I was just being like my dad, and that wasn't acceptable. So, yeah, being natural at home was very easy. Getting used to all the rules and regulations and things you're supposed to not do
Right.
is what is very, very different. And I have still not really, I really haven't had the company help me with that too much. I've had to try to learn everything on my own.
Okay. I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Let's move a little forward.
Hmm.
You have a daughter,
I do.
okay? Um, how close are you and your daughter?
Very close.
Very
Yeah,
close. Okay.
actually,
And you've been married before? Not married?
I've been married, yes.
Okay.
One
Uh,
time.
okay. And are you dating now, or what's your situation there?
I have a boyfriend, yeah.
Oh, good, good for you. You seem very happy, and you seem
Oh, very
wholesome.
getting up, do it up to the second. The first
Okay.
is, don't get me wrong, I was a complete wreck. And getting past the next stages was learning, and I was being taught all sorts of things.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, when I say I don't receive any help, I do receive a lot of help. Okay, I
Okay.
receive
Right.
every stage and part of my life, I receive help. What I mean is by the Graceland executives, I need them, and I haven't got much of that yet.
Okay.
I know of. that I know of. You know, they might be helping me through my confidence. I don't know. And you're not told everything. You understand?
Right.
You think all the time. A lot of things are very secretive still, and so it is. So I have to, I have to learn. So the first 4.5 years was hell. Then the next couple of years was okay. Then it got to the seventh year. Now, yeah, I'm exceptionally happy and everything's fine now. You know, and I can deal with all the hate and everything and all that stuff. I've learned how to cope with everything. So now I'm learning the final bits of molding myself into what I'm supposed to be at Graceland as a business lady and achieve Graceland, and by maintaining who I am as a person, of course, and follow those rules and do wonderful things for Graceland and for our family and for my own dreams too.
So those are two different roles that you play.
No, it's really the same role.
Is it? Okay.
Urges into, because basically my job is just to be me.
Okay.
Because being me works at Graceland because I'm real and I like my dad.
I like that.
We're all alike as a family. And so it works at Graceland, just being a family girl at Graceland. The fans absolutely love that. I have lots of attention from that. So I don't have to try to be anything else. I just have to not break any Graceland rules, and I don't really know all the rules yet.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Um, knowing that you have a voice and you also have to portray a certain image, which is your being you,
yeah.
but at the same time, you're also in a box. You're in Graceland. Okay. So when did you first discover that you had that gift, that craft for singing? What age?
Well, I wasn't allowed to sing when I always loved singing, and I was 13 years old. I won second place in Great Yarmouth for a singing competition, and I love Christmas Day, and I was proud to hear that my dad won second place the first time around too.
But you weren't allowed to sing. This is what I'm getting at. You
wasn't allowed to sing, but what it was, I went to the beaches and I was like doing rock and roll, and so I got to sing sometimes. But no, I wasn't allowed to take singing lessons in school or anything. I wasn't allowed to sing, and so it wasn't until I tried to have singing lessons with Arnold Rosendale, which I couldn't afford. When I received my lessons was when I came home to Graceland. I have all that now, and I have all me too.
Okay.
I'm very lucky.
Now the other part, I noticed that you were actress, or still is you still are an actress. When did you start develop that craft, acting? When did that come into play?
I tell you how, I'm me now, 100% me, and happy and content, and I don't feel insecure or anything. How I managed to be a good actress is because I was lost and searching. I had to pretend to be a person.
Got it.
I used to literally try to learn how to walk from following people, stuff like that. Going, okay, so I want to walk like that. So that sort of thing, And so I was so good at pretending to be confident, all those times until I found my family. Now you understand why I'm not leaving my real family, because I'm relaxed and comfortable and really me now.
Right. Okay.
I had to be somebody, so I kind of portrayed somebody that I saw somebody. I tried to portray that, and that's how I got the acting skills for acting, because I can go and play a role, because I was lost before, but now I'm found. Wow. I don't like to try to play the roles of myself. People have said to me, Elaine Presley, you've got to use different names and when you order food and stuff like that and everything else. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I just want to be me. I didn't try to be anybody else. I still me, the person I was, right. But I didn't know what that was, until I came home. Yeah, but basically it's like, things just came together. All my spirit and my personality and everything when I came home to Graceland just molded into one.
Okay. Let me ask this next question to you. Now you're acting. What year is this that you're portraying, getting into acting?
I'm doing acting now. I've been involved in a movie, and
let's talk about that.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's a very interesting. First of all, anything that happens with me, and probably my sister's the same way, is you never have anything happen normal.
Me too.
Okay. So when I was asked to do the movie Chore, and I was making my movie deal, and so I got the movie wrong. I had to fly to Philadelphia, and I had to stay in a hotel. And your first thing you learn as an actress, or an actor, they call you now, don't they? Is that you have to learn to wait a lot.
Yes.
Phone calls, anytime now, and then you get no phone calls, and then you get a phone call saying, sorry, it's off, you're going to do it next week, you know? We're going to fly you back in. And I was like, oh, okay. So you have to kind of accept that and not be a brat, and you have to like go with the flow.
Right.
And I was in a gangster movie, and so you know it's about gangsters and street crimes, and the people they're portraying, of course, we had Jimmy Walker and some famous people like that in the movie too, but we had
Wow. Okay.
like peoples, and you know, and so I had to go and they sent me a car and they took me down there, and I had to you know be in this scene, and this director was such a good director. He wanted you to be natural and you know and
Wow.
be your natural self, which was
Okay.
great. Just be Elaine Presley, you know, and but it was completely like living in you know a gangster movie because everybody was real gangsters, and
I
also
love it.
stars.
What?
And
Let me ask another question. Roughly, how many movies have you done?
I've done uh, I've done that one movie, but I also did parts of things. Like when I first came home,
Okay.
we have the Elvis Brightness Now, which is slightly different from the first one that was when I first came home. And I did some, I entertained the fans in Mexico online in there and did some.
Wow. Okay.
I'm actually known for that. The funny thing was that was kind of just me naturally doing that, but I'm actually known for that now. I'm known for Elvis Mexico right now, and that's
Really? Okay.
my ratings for my performances in what I've been doing went from 6 million down to 200,000, 240,000.
Okay.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. So your ratings we're trying to get that back up now, right? We're working on it.
Number one, I need a hit movie.
Okay.
I'm doing wrong. I'm going for more movies. I'm going to go for some bigger roles, and I'm going to
There
go
you
for.
go.
I want
Now is the time.
and I want to have a hit movie, and I want to get it to number one.
There you go. I love. So you have that umph that I have right now. I'm at that age because I was just in Jamaica and then pandemic hit, and we had just got this resort set up, and we're about to make lots of money again,
Mm.
so we can get on with our lives. And then
Yeah,
pandemic hit, and I was like, what do I do next? You know.
mm.
However, I think you and I have that same feeling. You know, during tough times, come up with an ideal, develop something, create. You have a very creative mind. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Actually, back to in this pandemic, you know, of course, I feel for everybody who's passed and everything. And that's very hard. You know,
Yeah.
both my father and my sister, I'm sure, and my mother, we feel for people deeply, and so that is it's a lot of pain for us to have to watch all this stuff happen. I'm sure it's for a lot of people too. But yeah, I've actually redesigned my entire career and my company and everything else that I'm doing much better in now in this pandemic. And my company's design it can be operated 100% on. Well, it is operated 100% online. I've improved the publishing company that I have. Um,
Let me stop you for a second. Can
yeah.
you tell us about the different companies that you're responsible for right now, just so that we are familiar with it?
Yes. Before I came home, I was successful in real estate. You know, bought and sold. And but when I came home, you can't really do that the same way because you know when you're buying and selling real estate, you have to buy it cheap and sell it. And a lot of those are Elvis fans.
Right.
I go out and do that. So my career ended. I lost everything coming home to Graceland in the beginning.
Wow.
So, because when you're calling up somebody for a house, you're calling up an Elvis fan, and you can't say I'm going to give you 50,000 for your $80,000 house. You know, so
Right.
I couldn't do that anymore. So because I had to represent my family in the right way, and I had to represent them in where I'm representing my fans. And so it took a long time for me to figure things out. So I started a publishing company called L&L Presley. It's located in Graceland. And also I have a foundation. Originally was the Lane Presley Wish Foundation. The reason I did that is because I love helping people and I have been doing it all my life before I came home. But my original foundation wasn't a Lane Presley Wish Foundation. My original foundation was a Dream Foundation. And then I realized my mum had the Dream Foundation.
Wow.
So I was like, oh my God, you know, mum's got the same foundation. I didn't know she was my mum at the time, but I said, got the same foundation.
Wow.
I've got, I have to change it because I can't do that. That wouldn't be right. So I changed it, and then I took off the Wish part, and it was just the Lane Presley Foundation. And the reason I did that is because we all had foundations. But then when I came home, and it was the seventh year, I realized something very important. I realized we needed to really have more unity within Graceland. And
Okay.
so I had already won awards.
let me ask you a question. Let me stop you. Why do you say you need to have more unity? What did you see or what did you feel that brought that on?
We had fragmented foundations. I had a foundation, my sister has a foundation, my mum has a foundation, my dad has a foundation. There's just too many foundations.
Okay, gotcha.
And already created. I've won awards. I became top business lady in Memphis, Tennessee in 2018, and also have recommendations, from many people that we've helped and did things for. So I merged my foundation with our family foundation, giving everything I've achieved to Graceland, which builds up one foundation or two. My mum's got one too, but builds more one foundation and creates success there much greater. And so it gives us more success and more prestige at Graceland for our foundation.
Okay.
And so and then of course I've got a record label and a publishing company. It's only just now in this pandemic becoming a real top proper publishing company. It was before,
Okay.
but even more so now. I mean, where we get the top royalties and things like that now. And then we won an award for that, most innovative publishing company for Graceland Anthem, which is a song me and my sister own.
Oh, this is what you're telling me about. Okay.
Yeah, so we won an award for having Graceland Anthem designing it. We've designed the first anthem in Graceland, and we had to be the ones to design it because we're a family. We couldn't have an outside person design the Graceland Anthem. So
okay.
And of course, so with my foundation our foundations, and with my company, also we're a record label and a publishing company, and then I invest the money that I make into startup companies.
Okay. Okay. Not bad. Let me ask you another question. I got a chance to listen to your music. Okay. Yeah. By accident, I was scrolling through because I became a friend to you with you because of Christo, Jay Taylor, which is part of Blue Boy Records. Big shout out to Blue Boy Records and Carl Blue Weiss, a phenomenal guy. Carl is the reason that I know all you guys. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it's kind of like there was something in the air, angels in the air, and we all connected. And I want to thank Christo. Well, you know how Christo brought you to me. She said that I have this person that wants to listen when you do the interview for me. Christo just had a new release album out, and with I think 16 songs. And she said to me, I don't want to really say much about, and she realized I'm very delicate with my guests. And she said she's such and such, and then she mentioned the name, and I was like, Elvis Presley's daughter? I was like, you want to have her be a friend of mine? I was like, okay. I was like, my stars are aligning. I was like, this is perfect because I'm in alignment, and I feel like you feel. And I was having that conversation with Christo, Thor, also with Blue Boy Records, Carl. I told him that music people, movie people, are totally different. They are so different when it comes to people don't understand them. We walk in a different beat.
Yeah, actual fact, everything that's ever happened to me since I've come home, in the beginning I was trying to push things, and I realized quite quickly you can't do that. Everything that happened with Crystal, yourself, and Carl was a miracle, and now it's creating wonderful and great things for not only all of us basically, and everybody's winning from that. So that was definitely something from God and from my dad.
I feel that 100%.
What I think what happened on that one, Crystal wrote some wonderful music, and she traveled a long way and paid a lot of money to have those records produced, I know. And my dad noticed that from heaven. And so my dad put this blessing together, and it went three ways, I think. And so therefore, I went from that.
Where do you think I fit in there? Because I actually, I met Carl through another friend, Rua, who is a singer, performer. She goes by Rua's her stage name. But I've been following her for years because I was in the Caribbean and Mexico, and I was always online late mixing, listening to music because I'm a music fanatic. Yeah. And I always wanted to have a talk show or an interview show where I could interview my DJ friends, and it was nothing of interviewing anything but DJ friends. And it turns out that I got my wish when this pandemic happened. Yeah. But where do you think I came in to this story connecting with you?
I think it's just, it is all necessary to connect together. That obviously you are a wonderful man. I can tell that. And Carl is a wonderful man too. And we're all good souls. And also Crystal's a wonderful lady. And she did wonderful things for our father and our family in Graceland. And my dad rewarded her for that, and also will be there for her, I'm sure. And also, I know, and of course, then he brought me in to be with Carl because I needed to have that break where I could actually record some proper records and have a real.
Mention that to me.
And then he brought you in for the media. You must be an Elvis fan because you're here.
Yeah, it's funny because no one knows that other than my family, my mom, my dad, some of my sisters. I have 4 sisters, and they just remember me dancing and always watching the Elvis movies. And my cousins in Chicago, where I kind of grew up in the suburbs. I have 3 of us. We're all the same age by a few different months. We know, but no one else knows that.
Yeah, and the very anthem is about that. It's about my dad being here. It's about my dad thanking people, and it's about my dad coming back spiritually.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm gonna move us forward because this format that we're on right now, they allow us so much time, and we're doing great right now. So there's some other questions that I want to ask you.
Sure.
That since we've been talking, I'm just like, wow, all this stuff is coming together, and I see big things happening for you. When we were talking, you mentioned that you want to also have a hit record.
Now, you tell my confidants that I can tell you right now what executives at Graceland and my confidants are on the floor laughing their heads off, screaming, they're going, she's going to have a record. Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm not going to leak your information out, but I told you I have an ear for music. I've done a little thing, nothing big, but I've helped some people do some things, and that's why I'm here today. But let me tell you a story that's going to take 2 minutes, so you understand how all this developed for me, and where my nephew comes in too. Living in the Caribbean, Mexico, I meet my daughter's mother. We spent some time together in the island of Cozumel. It happens. I feel, because I'm a very fearful person. I'm in sales, but I'm on an island in Cozumel where the Mayans used to actually come across from Tulum, Playa del Carmen to come over to make babies because something about that island is special. Okay, maybe it's in the water. So to make it a short story, she gets pregnant. I have this daughter, but before that, the moment of conception, I knew it. I knew she was pregnant, and I knew that my daughter could sing, which she can sing now because her mother sings. But I heard the next night I had a dream, and I heard my daughter's voice, and it was really interesting because then again it was very, very strong. But so you understand what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Okay, without any doubt. That's why I love our conversation. I don't have to even explain myself to you. So all this go ahead.
I say my dad, is spiritually here. He is spiritually here. We don't talk about it too much because it's something you don't want to talk about all the time. Right. But he's here for my sister, and he's here for me, and he's here for my mum. He left us a roadmap for me and my sister to follow, and basically to do the things that we're supposed to do and the way we're supposed to do them. Right. And so we're following that, and there's a lot of things to do in the future. It's just a beginning, really. There's lots of wonderful.
That's where we're going right now. You're perfect timing for that because that was my next question.
Yeah.
What future? Before we go there, if someone's trying to get a hold of your music and they're trying to find out about your literature and things of that sort, can you give them some numbers, emails, and things right now?
The best thing. The thing is, I'm trying to change the way things are when it comes to doing that. Okay. What I'm doing right now is I've got rid of most of my social media. Because being a celebrity figure at Graceland, I shouldn't be mouthing my mouth off of general things every single day.
Right.
I should be a little bit more reserved than that. And so I'm building up my website. So when we do marketing, it shouldn't be me who do the shouting. Like you said, am I going to have a hit record? And I made a joke of it that my confidants are going to laugh because that high and mighty. I want to get into the Grammys. And I want to stand on that stage and have a Grammy. Yes, I do. But you can't say that being a child. You have to try to do your best and try to achieve it. And when you do that,
you have to be humble about it. But here's what I want to say to you also. I believe that you speak things into existence also.
You do, yeah. And now that you do speak things into existence, you have to be humble and things like that. So we are working really hard to get that, to do those hit records and things. So the way we do our marketing now, we don't do all the general marketing. What we do is when I'm going to have a show or something, we base it and have people go directly to the website. Or go directly to the show. I think people misunderstand how social media is supposed to work. Really in marketing and business, you're supposed to have somebody make one click to go to where they need to go. If you send somebody to social media marketing, you're building the fans on social media that may not be here in 10 years.
Right.
And then click on social media where there's lots of other celebrities on there. They might bypass you and go to their thing instead. And then they have to click through there if they make it that far to get to your website, and then they have to click to the shows. But if I have marketing professionals do my marketing for all the shows and things I'm doing, they're marketing directly to my website. It goes directly to my shows. And there's no Elaine Presley shouting and screaming, "Oh, I've got a show coming up, come and see me." They're like, "No, go away."
Hey, I got a question for you. And this is about our company, my nephew and I, which we started on April 9th. It was an idea that I had, and we got together on the 7th because of pandemic. And I said to him, we need to do something together. Let's start a business. And he has the blueprint. His mind, oh my God, what a beautiful mind this kid has. He started a company called Smart Computer Concepts in Los Angeles, New York, and he's celebrating his 1-year anniversary in Las Vegas now.
Yeah.
He's 32, young cat. He has this blueprint, and he has this mind. He's a engineer, computer, IT, you name it. He's a guru of all this stuff. He has the blueprint of how to put these businesses together and launch them and how to market them and get them going. So my question that I have to you, right now, we celebrated our month anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
We had 20,000.2 viewers in like 28 days.
Yeah.
Right now, we're sitting at 39,900 viewers in 40 days. What kind of numbers? Does that make sense?
That's really good. Yeah, it's good. It's a good basis of a beginning of a marketing plan, isn't it?
Okay. I just want to get a little feedback from you because,
basically, anything you do when it comes to business, it's about fine tuning. Like, when it comes to my foundation, we started off with trying to do the same foundation as my mother had because I didn't know she had it. And then we did the Wish Foundation and the Elaine Presley Foundation. And now it's molded with all that success coming directly to Graceland. And
wow, great.
A powerful foundation. Do you see what I mean? So it all kind of works like that. Sometimes things, when you start things, you think they're not going to work. But if you keep going and you keep learning and you keep making it work. Like, I never thought I could own a publishing company. I'd love to have gone to see the owners of Graceland. I mean, my sister owned Graceland, but the owners of Graceland, and sit and pick their brains of how they set up for those companies. But now I'm slowly learning how to do that myself. It would have been easier for them to teach me, but obviously that hasn't happened. So I had to learn how to do the publishing company myself. Finally, really working very hard and moving it forward. I've got a brilliant publishing company earning the top royalties worldwide to proper work, and even connections to some of the largest record labels that would take me if I got a good record. They would take me and connect to them.
Can I ask you a question? Your publishing company, what type of materials are we publishing?
I only publish my own music and my sister. The only song of my sister's is Graceland Anthem that we have together.
Okay. Now, the other one that you made, tell me, we've probably got about 5 minutes or so still left. Go into the Scared Little Child record that you put together, because that one is very powerful. I listened to that one and I got goosebumps.
Thank you. Yeah, when I was a child, I used to go to church all the time, just like my father did, actually. And I used to go and pray in the church when I felt down. One day I went to the church and I was scared, so I went into the church and I prayed at the altar.
Okay.
Yeah, then I ran out of the church. You there?
I'm still here.
Okay, yeah, I ran out of the church. And that's what that song's from, called Scared Little Child.
Wow. Okay. Because I listened to that
Can
song and I tell you, I got goosebumps.
I do one thing? This rose is for my mum, for Mother's Day.
Oh, awesome.
Happy Mother's Day, Mum.
That's
So I couldn't
beautiful.
send you a card. I didn't want you to get a virus from the card. That's why I didn't send you one. So
I understand.
happy.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So we are sitting on. Let me look at our time here. We got about. We probably got about four minutes still left. Let's talk about again your future projects. Any what should we be looking for from you?
I'm a Graceland child. That's where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And so I'm building up my foundation. Our foundation. I'm building up our foundation. I'm doing lots of wonderful things with people with the money that I make throughout the world. And also I'm building up my publishing company. And we aim, yes, to, in a gentle way, trying to get some records to get me into the Grammys and try to do some hit movies where I can become #1. Big dream, but, I'm working towards something like that. But I'm having lots of fun trying.
Now I only asked for one thing, right? You've watched some of my interviews, right?
Yes,
All right. So all I ask from you when you actually get to where you're going, because I know it's going to happen, because I'm going to be pushing that energy to you also.
yes.
I like VIP. Okay. Backstage, white M&Ms, white flowers. So I
I,
got you on film. So are we in?
yes, deal.
Okay, that's it. And we're gonna always be friends forever. I know that already about you and me. We have a special connection. I noticed. I didn't have to explain myself to you when we were talking earlier, and you didn't have to explain yourself to me. I just got you. I understood you right away.
Yes. And
And go
yeah,
ahead.
and I understand too. You too. I try to explain things in the right order and correctly because it's actually quite complicated, really, isn't it? My story, so I try correctly sometimes.
Okay. Well, we're about to wrap it up. We're here with Elaine Elizabeth Presley. It's been a wonderful adventure and journey, and I now have a new friend forever, which is going to be amazing. I probably, Elaine, will have you help me with my daughter when it comes time for my daughter to sing professionally, because she has one of those voices. She speaks about 3 languages, maybe 4.
Mhm.
She's 7. Um,
Oh, nice.
she's German,
Mhm.
born in Mexico. But by way right now, she's learning Russian and a few other languages, French and stuff in school, and they do it early there. But
Yeah.
here's the key. There has to be a part 2, Elaine. Will you agree with me on that?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm going to definitely have to have you in on a part 2. I want to meet some of the people that you operate with. I'm sure there's some great stories and things of that nature. Is there anything else that you want to tell the people that we're listening to? Because our company, this company here, what we really do is we help people find their future fans.
Yes. I'd like, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody who's on the show tonight, and thank you for all your wonderful comments here. I really appreciate that. And of course, I'm normally on the computer, so the lighting works really well with the computer. So now I have to go and get some extra lighting for when I'm on the phone like this. So this is another lesson you learn every day. And
You're okay.
thank you for
See,
please come to visit Graceland. And we'd love,
is that an invitation?
yes, an invitation.
Okay, I'm definitely doing it then. I am
If
definitely doing it.
my fans around properly, then I will be willing to do that too. And
Uh,
I can now, but it's kind of a stressful situation. I needed to have it a little bit more natural than it is right now.
right, right. Well, if you're inviting me for a VIP tour, a friend to friend, I'm there. As soon as all this gets lifted up, I've met some of the greatest people in the world. I want to thank you for joining us tonight on the Keep It 100 podcast show. I am now a big fan of yours, your close friend. You know, you can call me at any time. Thank you again, Elaine, for coming in. Oh, before you go, can you say hi to my mom, which her
Yes,
name is Rebecca Williams?
Rebecca Williams, this is Elaine Presley of Graceland. Hello, how are you, ma'am? It's
Okay.
wonderful to get to know you through your son. I'm sure you'll like your son as well, and he's a wonderful man, isn't he?
I have 4 sisters. I'm the only guy in the family, so I'm never spoiled.
This, and this is for you. Ready? That's all right, JR. That's all right for you. That's all right, JR. Just any old way. Well, that's right. That's right. Well, that's all right. Any old
Oh, thank you. You know, I wasn't I wasn't gonna let you leave without singing. Oh God, it
There you
it's
go.
been it's been such a pleasure. I will talk to you soon. We'll have this tape up very soon for you, so you
Thank
can. Okay, and then also I know you have some people that you wanted me to interview for you, but you know you've warmed my heart. I feel so good right now. I don't even know what to say. You know,
um,
thank you.
thank you so much for having me on. I thank you very much for your loving kindness and care. I thank you for everything, JR. You're wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, you have a good night. Okay, Elaine.
You too. And goodbye, everybody, to my family, too. I love you, Lisa. I love you, Mum. I love you, fans. I love all Elvis, my dad's fans. I love my mum's fans, my sister's fans. I love all of you out there. I love the animals that are watching the show right now, too, the dogs and cats and things.
That's important.
And I love my sister's new dogs, too. They're beautiful, Lisa.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a good night, hon.
You too. Bye bye. Bye, JR.